Listen to your fears, my fearless friends. But let's see, why would you? It's very interesting because I always say this. You need to look at your fears, at your stress, and at your emotions as simple messages. They are basically trying to tell you that you need to change something. They are trying to give you a hint of what you need to focus on to change next. This fear does not happen for any reason. It's there with a specific purpose to give you a new perspective on a problem that you may be facing for quite a while. And what our system does, our body is a genius. It basically creates alongside with our mind, with our spirit, the most incredible, sometimes challenging ways to show you which is the path that you need to follow. Since we are such a paradox, we need the comfort zone to feel safe and secure and cute and fuzzy and comfy. But then we need a lot of novelty and give me a lot of risk. I want to try something new. I want to explore. I want to see the world. But then, on the other hand, our mind is panicking, thinking that has this person lost their mind completely? Well, no, it hasn't because I'm their mind. But it's me feeling a bit dangerous, me feeling that maybe you're putting me in a position that I simply cannot handle. I cannot keep you safe. Our mind truly wants to keep us safe. So, going back to what I said earlier, listening to your fears, how can we do that when our most strongest desire is to make sure that we never feel fear again because it's painful. We simply do not feel at ease when we need to do something, especially in our professional life. We need to do something that's very important. And all of a sudden, we may be feeling like, okay, I have all the steps. I know what to do. I am the specialist. I know how to put together this project. However, something stops you, something is blocking you. So, my fearless friend, I want you to truly take a pen, and a piece of paper, and consider asking yourself these questions that will give you the path that you can follow in order to transform your fears. We need to basically translate them to what is the next step that you need to do next. So, in order to decode these fears, we first need to, you got it, we need to listen to them. We basically need to listen more. The truth is that we have this very cute quote saying, we have 2 ears and we have one mouth. So it's basically listening more than talking. So let's see what is the first question that you can ask yourself so that you can get yourself out of your emotions into your rational mind. So what these questions do, which you'll see are pretty basic, very simple. And you need something simple when you are stressed and panicking, when you are scared, when you are not feeling at ease. You cannot deal with anything that's complex because your mind needs to find a flicker of light, the light at the end of the tunnel, so that it can grab it, get a hold of it. Something simple that you can use to change the perspective from your fear, from the problem, to the solution. Because, yes, fear can get to become a huge problem if you don't translate it. This is the problem with fear. It's wonderful. It's a part of us. It keeps us safe. It gives us all of the alternatives that we can follow. However, at the same time, if you linger too much in it, it will control you. It's going to change completely your attitude towards life, towards novelty, and towards all of the next steps that you should be doing, creating a lot of regret. Now, the first question is this one. Why do I feel this? And be mindful. This question, as simple as it may seem, When you put the answers down on a piece of paper, do not have your mind judging the answers. You may be feeling overwhelmed by all of the things that you will be basically spilling out on that piece of paper. It's up to you to know that as long as you don't put any filters on your thoughts, you are a winner. Let them out. What you need to do with your fears is to make them rational, put them in front of you like a wall so you see them. And this is when they transform. It's never going to be a challenge for you. Once you verbalize or once you write down your fears, to not see them as solutions. So they will transform from the fear that may seem like a seven-headed dragon to a very nice, cute lizard that's not going to give you too much headache. Not anymore. Because the solutions that your mind will start to produce once you are aware of what's truly stressing you, what's keeping you in a state of fear, these solutions are your answers to everything that you have always wanted, because the first step is the hardest. Once you start with the first step, this is when you are truly winning in life, because everything else will come easier. And ideally, you don't want to focus on the second next step until you have fully done the first step. You have understood that it's not such a big deal, because fear does make it seem like it's horrible, that it's tough, it's a lot. Once you see that the first step is already done, you can then move on and focus on the next step. In order to not create anxiety in your life, to avoid feeling confused and overwhelmed, you need to focus on one thing at a time. Ideally, you want to never keep your mind occupied. So multitasking does not really exist. It's awful. It's damaging to you. Keep it very simple. Finish one task and then think about the next. Think about the next step once you have fully finished, completed, delivered the first step, the first task that you are working on. When you have your answers to this question, why do I feel this? It's your mind giving you the solutions, because you are getting to be conscious, you are getting to be aware of what's truly the problem. Another great question that I suggest you to use today is this one. How can I make this better? How can I make this better? It gives you the opportunity to analyze, to assess, and to adjust the future next steps that you'll be making in a particular project, or when you have an important activity to do at work. You'll be definitely very much aware once you give yourself the luxury, my fearless friends, to focus on the solutions, because I know you know this. You are the only one that has all of the answers. So you asking yourself these questions, which it's an art. Asking yourself questions and asking other people questions is definitely an amazing art. And you can do this once you give yourself the benefit of the doubt and know that you won't have all of the answers from one go, not from the first attempt. When you first try, it could be a bit difficult to organize all of your thoughts. However, the pen and the piece of paper, and I insist with the piece of paper, make sure that you have it handy. It's so much easier, so much more fulfilling and productive to have your thoughts black on white on a piece of paper so that you can organize and analyze everything that you need to do next. How can I make this better gives you some brilliant ideas that will surprise you. And another great question, and the final question for today, is this one. What am I learning from this experience? What am I learning from this experience? So we have why, how, what. These three amazing adverbs give you the chance to not only assess and analyze and find the best solutions, but to also give you a whole new aspect, a whole new perspective, the alternative that you may be needing in order to keep your fears under control at work, to give that stress a whole new meaning, and to make it so that you are fully in charge of everything that happens around you. Because when you are in a good place with yourself, when you ask yourself questions, when you are mindful about all of the needs that you need to nurture for you first, for you only. You need to be the first person that gives you nurturing, concern, care, kindness, and appreciation, and understanding, and thoughtfulness, and the list can go on. But as long as you start asking yourself questions, the more that you communicate with yourself in such a mindful way, you will be becoming your best friend, your number one ally, which makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, which gives you a lot of confidence, which truly makes you happier. So use these questions, put them down on a piece of paper, and let me know what are your answers. Which is the most powerful question that has given you a whole new perspective on a particular problem? I truly am so happy as a fear specialist and as an NLP trainer, neuro-linguistic programming trainer, to guide you and your team and your managers to some amazing wild extents as we are keeping a fear-free and stress-free environment at work. And I am truly happy to help you keep fear and stress under control so that you can make those very important, groundbreaking, impactful decisions, fear-free and stress-free in your professional life. You can find me everywhere online at Roxana Popet, and my website is roxanapopet.com, where you can listen to more episodes of stories about fear. This wonderful podcast of mine, and I'm not modest when I talk about this podcast. I am not modest. I'm also having some great guests in the past. Maybe I'll resume having some more guests in the future. Who knows? I'm just feeling a little bit too creative these days to have another person on, but we'll see. I'll be traveling soon, so you can definitely have some great insights on stories about fear on roxanapope.com. And as well, I have some great gifts for you. The guide, the 7-step guide to permanently conquer your fears, is on my website. You can download it for free, enjoy it, and I'll see you soon with another great podcast episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to get your comments and your answers and just enjoy along with you your great wins when you get to be aware of what you need to do next in order to keep those fears under control. See you soon.